morning. There you are. Hi. 9:02 a.m. on September 5th. Happy birthday to my dad. He passed away a few months after COVID started, but my brothers and I still remember his birthday, September 5th. 9:02 a.m. September 5th, 2022 right now. And welcome aboard. This is, I know what I need to do next. Make sure I got audio coming through. I know what I need to do next. There it is. Make sure I got audio coming through. And Tony says ABDRW, good. Watch goes down on the table because Tony sometimes sends me text messages that are pertinent to the show. In case I'm not watching chat at the time. Today's session, I've still got my button set up for Fortnite. Windows Daily number 47, scheduling automatic backups with Macrium Reflect. Before we dive into that, I'm going to go look at Friday's stream, which was Windows Daily 46, purchasing SpinRite with a privacy.com card. Notice over here, live chat replay is not available for this video. The reason for that is that I edited the video. There were a couple times in there that I exposed information that I just thought I'd rather blur that out. So I put in some blurs in there. So I can't go back and read the chat from Friday, but I think I was interacting with chat on Friday. Well, actually what I could do, did I display it at the end? I don't think so. On the comments on that video, Tony, outstanding update. He's always really good about giving that encouraging response. El Galino put a comment on the video. I don't think El Galino was watching at the time. But I bought SpinRite years ago. Well, actually, I paid for SpinRite, never received the promised product. Steve made himself virtually impossible to get hold of, and inquiries were ignored and remain so. It's very commonplace that the authors of software do not handle the sales of the product later. There's systems in place to deal with issues that come up, and as long as you captured your payment information, because when you order it, you get that code that shows up during the ordering process. If you got that, you should be able to go back and get the product. But sometimes people don't do that. I suspect there's some more to the story that we're not hearing about because it's just impractical to put all the detail in there. So I can't answer for the reason why you didn't get through and get that handled. If a way that I could help you with that is if you want to come onto a Saturday live stream, interact with us either in the chat room and or especially on the Zoom session. I'd be happy to try to help you get that fixed, but you're going to have that information of your original purchase. Hopefully you captured it some way or another. Pineapple Road, I'm completely lost. This is what SpinRite does, although I don't think it would have helped with a hard drive that I had that was playing up, which has been sent to data recovery from the initial evaluation. It seems to be an electronics issue with the drive, which actually surprised me. According to the progress tracker, they have finished the diagnostic stage and will be getting in touch with me. On Saturday, I explained more about what SpinRite does, and this comment, I think, was put on here before that. So hopefully Pineapple Road watched that or understands more. And you're absolutely correct. SpinRite would not have helped with that. SpinRite only is for dealing with lost sectors or problem areas on the drive, and it's causing your lost sectors or reallocated sectors number to increase. That's all it's for. Don't use it for other problems. If there was an actual electronics issue, it was not going to help, and it could actually, using it could actually make it more difficult for somebody like $300 data recovery or some other hard drive recovery company to recover it. You should only be using it if you've got reallocated sectors number climbing too high. What do we go next? I think that's all the catch up I need to do. Oh no, Was there, I think over here on comments. Yeah, here on these comments, for the channel comments, that's Pineapple Road's comment again. And then another comment from Pineapple Road, which was good. This is regarding Saturday's show. The WPS pin works independently of push button method. You do not need to push the button to use the pin. I kind of had a sense that that might be the case, but I have to fess up that I did not go through that to that depth. So if you're connected to the network, you could access to the Ethernet. You could access the WPS pin. Why would you want to do that? There is more there than I know about. Let me fess up to that. I have noticed that most modern operating systems do not support the pin method, probably because it's considered insecure and Apple has removed WPS support altogether. And that's probably why I haven't become educated about, because I'm not sure that I've ever seen that actually come up. So that would indicate to me that you're trying to connect to the Wi-Fi without using the push button on the router, without using the standard SSID and passcode method, but rather to just do a WPS pin. So the computer that you're trying to connect with has to be capable of that, and the router has to be capable of that, or the Wi-Fi access point. But on routers which allow you to turn off the pin and push button method separately, it would only be necessary to turn off the pin method if you wanted to secure the router from potential attack. My router is positioned where it would not be easy to get to the WPS button anyway, so in terms of the push button method, it makes no difference. If I have it on or off, I won't be using it. And turning off the WPS will not disconnect devices that have already been joined using the WPS method. So, and the WPS here referring to the pin code, not the push button on the router. I think I really need to actually try those myself to fully to understand them well enough. Okay, so let's move on. And there's chit chat going on, nothing being alerted to me about the stream. So I'm going to minimize this and then go into Macrium Reflect. Do I still have it open? No, I don't. Windows key and then type Reflect and open Macrium Reflect. And today is about scheduling Macrium Reflect. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I need to change my scheduling of the backup job for Big Beast build. Let's get a little orientation to what I'm currently doing. It's kind of residual and left over. If I come down here to the M drive, L drive, here I have on the L drive, Big Beast build, rebuild incremental backups. That is when I had decided for the Big Beast build to do a fresh Windows 10 install and build it from scratch, rather than using the image that I restored from my prior streaming computer. So when I go into this folder, we get these files. Now, let me point out there are 3 different serial numbers in here. This one, D26, and then a bunch of these that start with B1, and then some that start with 97. That's going to be part of our conversation. What do these different serial numbers of these backup jobs mean? And then here's the name of the backup job, and then here's this code number. So we're going to be dealing with all of those subjects as we look through this. Down here, there's an M drive called Macrium Backups. Kind of implies that's where I intended to do backups, right? Well, what are these M and L drives? Let me show you that. Come down to the Windows button in the bottom left corner, right-click, and choose Disk Management. I'll fess up, it's a little confusing the way I've got these lettered. I've got one called the L drive, long-term storage. That is a separate spinning Western Digital red label, the one that's supposed to be buffered against vibrations. That's what I'm calling long-term storage, to get it off of my NVMe drive. This down here is my NVMe drive, my 8 terabyte NVMe drive. We only get 7.452. There's the C drive is just 1 gigabyte. Then this Macrium backup folder is the M drive, and it currently is empty. So I'm going to stop calling that Macrium backups. I want my backups to be on this long-term storage. And maybe I'll wind up just calling it Macrium backups or long-term storage and backup. And then here I have active media. That's for my active video files. That's where my video software stores files. So I want to make a few changes here. Let's say this one, I'm not going to call Macrium backups anymore. So I want to change the name of that. Right here where it says Macrium backups. Unnamed. I'll call that unnamed for now, because I'm not sure what I'm going to wind up calling that. So up here, I'm going to change the name of this one, go to properties, and call it long-term storage ampersand backups. So that's my intention now for those to go there. Notice over here, those names haven't changed yet. So I'm going to close disk management, see if I can refresh that. Those still don't change. I'll close that, see if it'll come up with the new names. I don't actually know if it will. Yes, it did. All right. So my backups are going to be in here, but I'm not going to put it in this folder because that folder is going to go away. Don't really want that anymore. And then here's Macrium backups, Big Beast build before Nuke and Pave. I kind of would like to keep one of those, so I'm going to keep the latest of those. These would be backups of Big Beast build with the image that I restored from my prior streamer. I wouldn't be at all surprised if I wind up realizing one day, you know, that there's something there that I need to go grab or to have a look at, and I can browse those. Oh, now these are protected, and that would be because they're being protected through Macrium Reflect. So because I'm using the paid edition to Macrium Reflect, I would have to go delete those within Macrium Reflect. This folder here is showing my L drive backup, so I can't delete those from there. I'll go to Browse an Image File, come down here to long-term storage, Macrium backups before the build, before the rebuild, and I believe I can delete those from here. Yep. Okay. File is too big to recycle. Yes, I really want to delete it. All right, now let's go look at how these backup files are named, because that is interesting. And there's the Macrium Guardian telling me that I think it was telling me that it blocked that. So here's those three serial numbers. Here's a serial number, the D2, and here's 97, and then here's B1. Refresh your memory about those. Come back here to this. There's the D2, B1, and 97. D2, 97, and B1. So what are these? I'm going to collapse these, and what you'll be able to see from here is that each of these is the full backup, right here showing the full backup at the beginning of a sequence of backups. This full backup here does not have any incrementals after that because they have been incorporated into the full backup. If I expand this one, you'll see some incrementals. Now notice the dates here. The first full backup was at May 12th, and then the following increments are August 7th, August 8th, August 9th, August 10th. Well, that should seem kind of weird to you. What about the ones between May 12th and August 7th? Well, let's go take a look over here and try to explain that. That's these files up here, right? Because they were all the serial number 97. These files up here. There's the first full backup on May 12th. And then look what we have after that. Look at these in date order. August 8th is 17 gigabytes. August 9th is 9 gigabytes. September 4th is 774 gigabytes. It's bigger than the original full backup. Why is that? Well, what happens is as the program starts cycling off or discarding the older incremental backups, it will incorporate, consolidate them together so that this one from 9/4, that is dated 9/4, but this is actually the content from August 7th and prior. But on that September 4th date, yesterday, all of that prior incremental backups were consolidated into this one file. So this file actually contains the data from August 7th and prior. And you can see evidence of that over here in this part of the serial number. You start with these serial numbers on the left-hand side. That says these are all related to each other. 00-00 is always the original full backup. And then these numbers start incrementing. Whoops, I hit the side button on my mouse there. I'll go back into that folder. These highlighted again. So according to these numbers, which one of these is oldest? Well, it's this one, 66. This is the oldest one. Why does it have a more recent date? Well, because yesterday, all those older incremental backups were consolidated together into this oldest of the incremental backups for this serial number. So if we were to do a restore operation and we wanted everything to be restored as of yesterday, what would happen is Macrium Reflect would restore the base full backup, then it would restore the oldest of the incremental backups, which would be here on this file that has yesterday's date. Then it would install or restore the next most recent, which would be 67, then 68, then 69, in order to restore everything up to the way it was yesterday. Then let's go look at this one, B1. This is the more recent. Oh, that's actually, I did say that a little bit backwards. This was going to be a restore up through August 10th, not through yesterday. I was wrong in saying yesterday because this is not the most current. This is one generation older. The current backups that are being done is this one that starts with B1. So here B1 starts with a full backup here, and then these incrementals occur. So the full backup was on August 11th, and then the incrementals, August 12th, 14th, 15th. Occasionally I tell it to not do a backup because it'll give me a prompt on screen that it wants to do a backup now while I'm doing something else. And I'll tell it, no, skip that. So 8/19, 8/23, coming on down here, we get all the way to here is yesterday's incremental backup. So when I was describing that restore operation a few minutes ago, I made an error in describing that, because if we wanted to restore everything to the way it was yesterday, we would be restoring this operation. So it would restore this full backup, and then this incremental, all these other incrementals would have to be restored. Okay. I want to redesign this whole system or recreate it. So in order to do that, I'm going to come back to the Create Backup tab right here. We've been looking at this existing backups tab. I'll go here to the Create Backups tab. On this tab, there are these sub-tabs: local disk, definition file, scripts, and scheduled backups. If I come out here to scheduled backups, you'll see the way that my current backups are scheduled to run for this BBB build incremental backup is that at 5 p.m. on the second Thursday of every month, it's going to do a full backup. At 5 p.m. every day, it's going to do an incremental backup. And this whole sequence of backups started March 10th. Now, what's going to happen when the second Thursday of the month rolls around? Is it going to do both of these? No, it's not. It's smart enough to know to not do an incremental that day because we're going to do a full backup that day. Here we can see next run times and last run times. I'm going to come back to this definitions tab, and this is where the definition is for the backup, which includes the scheduling. So while I'm highlighting this backup, I can see down here, here's what it's, here's the backup definition file and what it's named, BBBB rebuild incremental backup. Auto verify, I have that set to no. When I recreate it this time, I'm going to change that to yes. The verify file system is yes. I'm not sure what the distinction is between those two. And all these other settings, I'm not going to read through all of those. It does send me emails when the backups are successful. That only occurs if you have the paid version. The schedules is full backup at 5 p.m. every second Thursday. 5 p.m. every day we do an incremental. And retention rules. This is one thing I want to get to. Retention rules will be applied to all matching backup sets in the destination folder. For full backup, it's going to be retained for 26 weeks. Now I can change that. I think that was the default setting, and I'll just go with that. It's fine. Linked incremental and differential backups will also be deleted. So when a full backup becomes 26 weeks old, if there's any remaining differential or incremental backups that haven't already been deleted, then they will be deleted as well. Incremental, retain incremental backups for 30 days. So when these incremental backups are 30 days old, then it's going to start deleting those older incremental backups. And it says the oldest incremental may be consolidated. Well, it's not maybe, it will be consolidated. The oldest backup, as you're deleting those incremental backups, it's going to take all those ones that are deleted and consolidate those into the oldest remaining incremental backup. Then the next day when it deletes that one, it's going to consolidate that into the next oldest incremental backup. Purge will run after the backup, meaning the backup's going to run and then it's going to delete any old content. Free space threshold. Delete the oldest backup sets when free space is less than 100 gigabytes. I don't want that drive to operate at full occupancy. So I told it, and that's not the default size. I increased it a bit to 100 gigabytes because I want at least 100 gigabytes free space. Here's the operations that are done. I'm not going to go into that. What I'll do here is I am done with this incremental backup. So I'm going to, I think there was a just deactivate it. Edit. Seems to me there was a way to just disable that. Do that over here maybe. Disable. Yeah, so I'm disabling that here. Does that show disable that here somewheres? Well, there's an enable option. So it is disabled. Probably says disabled around here somewhere that I'm not seeing. All right, so then I'm going to come back and schedule a new backup the way I want this to be done. And let's set up the folder that I want it to be done. This one, Macrium Backups, Big Beast Build Before Nuke and Pave, that has that single one. So what I'm going to do is create a new folder here and just call this Macrium Backups. And that'll be the new location. So here I'm on the Create Backups tab. This drive right here is the backup drive. I don't want to back it up, so I'm going to click into this frame so that this frame is highlighted and these options are available down here. If I click in this frame up here, then these options are operating on this drive, meaning I want to back up that drive. That's not what I want. So I'm going to click down here. So I want to image this drive. And then if I want to deselect any of these partitions, I can do that. And I do want to deselect Macrium Backups and Active Media, because what I'm going to be doing this time is I just want to be backing up the C drive. I'm not going to be backing up all that old data, all those old video files. If I wind up losing them, and I never go back and use them, I can tolerate that. I am more concerned about the C drive because that's where all my programs are and my boot drive is. And I keep forgetting what that drive letter is, L drive. So I don't want it to go to D. I'll click on this folder here, expand this PC, and expand L drive, and then click on the folder that I want to back up to. Okay, then I'm going to put in a backup file name, BBB, and I'm going to say C drive. Tells me it's just the C drive we're doing. Go into advanced options, go to auto verify, and verify image backup file directly after creation, and then click next. And then here's the schedules. I'm going to do this drop down up here for schedule template. Grandfather, father, son, differential backup set, incremental backup set, intradaily backup set, incrementals forever. I'm not going to explain through all of those. What I'm going to choose is grandfather, father, son. And what that's going to do is do a full backup and differential backups and incremental backups. So I'm going to change the time of these too. Let's go ahead and change that. Let's see, these, I want to do these at, I'm going to do them at 8 p.m. I'm going to change them all for 8 p.m. Find it 08. Nope, there's no AM or PM. So 8 p.m. is 2000 hours, right? Yeah. And change each of these to 20. This one, I know all the military people are upset at me for having not immediately known it was 20. Get over it. So at 8 p.m. on the first Monday of every month. Do I want the first Monday of every month? I don't think I care too much. That'll be fine. Starting September 5th today. And differentials differentials on every Monday of every week. So this means on the first Monday, which is today. Oh, that's why it's set up for Monday, because that is today. It's going to do a full backup tonight. And then next Monday, it's going to do a differential backup. What is it going to do tomorrow? Well, incrementals are 8 p.m. every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of every week. Is it really going to do every Monday, though? No, it's not, because every Monday is going to be differentials. So we could remove that Monday, but nah, I'm going to leave it on daily because it knows how to handle that. So tomorrow it's going to do an incremental. The next day it's going to do an incremental. On next Monday, it's going to do a differential. A differential is going to be everything that has changed since the last full backup. And then the second Monday of the month is everything that has changed since, I think, the last full backup. It could be since the last differential. I'm not totally certain about that one. Those incrementals are still going to exist until they reach their expiration time, which was what, 26 weeks or something? Oh, here's the weeks down here. So incrementals are going to be kept for 14 days. So once we get to the third week, then those older incrementals are going to start going away. Differentials are going to be kept for 4 weeks. Well, they're created every week, right? So we get to the 5th week, then the older differentials are going to start being removed, and their data will be consolidated with the next oldest differential. And we're going to run the purge before the backup. Previously, we saw that line that said the purge is going to run after the backup. No, I'd actually rather run it before the backup. The purge the oldest backup set of less than 5 gigabytes. I'd rather have 100 gigabytes. Oh, now I remember why I had that unselected. I do want to unselect it. So here's going to run the purge after the backup is done. Because if we run the purge before the backup, what if something goes wrong with the backup? We have fewer backups to select from because it's already deleted them. I think that's a kind of a minor point, not worth arguing over. I think I already have auto verify selected. Yes, I do. And then click next. Here's all the detail of that. It would be what we just selected. I'm going to go ahead and click finish. And I'm not going to run this now. If I run it now, it's going to go ahead and start doing a full backup right now. I'll wait until tonight because I already have a backup here from last night, right? Save the backup definition file. Yes, I want to save it, but I don't want to save it on the C drive because the C drive is the drive that I'm trying to protect. So I'm going to click on the 3-dot menu to browse to a different location. I think it makes total sense to put it in the location where the backups are being stored. So I'll go here to the Macrium Backups folder, and I'll change the name of this to Big Beast Build C Drive, and then click OK. That schedules the task. If I come over here to Schedule Backups, I'll see that that is now on this Scheduled Backups list. And here's the way it looks like here. Full backup, 8 p.m. first Monday every month. Differentials, 8 p.m. every Monday of every week. Incremental backups, 8 p.m. every weekday. Oh, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I can change that right here. Right click and edit. I want that to do Saturdays and Sundays also, because I work on Saturdays and Sundays. So I want the incrementals being done every day. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to come back to chat, see if you've been telling me all along that there's a problem. It's not been working, but Tony would have sent me a text if that was the case. So yeah, I see a lot of comments here. I'll go read back through them later, and I'll be responding to them if I need to tomorrow. For those of you that are on the Labor Day holiday today, I hope you enjoy your day. And I'll see you, it'll be tomorrow. Have a great day. I hope that was useful. Catch you later. Goodbye.